Let's just see here if there's anything else. Iowa is 4-3 this season in games being played on Thursday, and 24-29 under Fran McCafferty.
So you got to remember, I think you said they're 16-19 overall. I think 7 of those wins came in a 2-year stretch under Pretty Boy Alford, because I think they won 1 year. They had a win to get in, and they won. And I think the next year they got all the way to the finals and then lost. I think it was to Indiana. So, they outside that, in the last 18 years, the other 18 years they've won 9 games. So, 1 win every 2 years isn't much to write home about.
So where are you looking at for Iowa in the NCAA? Because I'm hearing anywhere from 7 to 10.
I think if they lose tonight, they're 10. They'll be a 10 seed. If they win tonight and then lose to Michigan, depending on how bad they lose to Michigan, I think they'll be a 9 seed. They'd have to get to the Big Ten finals and maybe win the Big Ten finals to get out of that 9 spot. I think they're pretty much solid at a 9 spot.
So you don't think they'll beat Michigan?
If they play them tomorrow, I don't think they'll beat Michigan. I think Michigan's if without knowing what the bracket is, I've got Michigan playing for the national championship.
Whoa!
Wow.
But
this isn't the NCAA tournament; it's the Big Ten.
No,
tournament.
but I still think that Michigan's a pretty good team. I got Gonzaga beating Michigan, Tennessee, and Wofford in the Final Four. Do not sleep on the Wofford Terriers.
I will.
Wofford is you're making a mistake. Wofford is a very good team.
I'm not saying they're not good, but they're not Final Four good.
No one said that about Loyola last year. Look where Loyola ended up.
Not winning.
Stocking, are you making?
They got to the Final Four.
Are you making wild predictions right now?
No, I'm not. I'm being honest.
You've been known to do this.
No, I am honest. They will. Wofford will get to the Final Four.
All right, listen. If he gets this right, you guys, I'm gonna
hold on. What are
you gonna do?
Was I reading something wrong? Did you say Wofford?
Yes. Wofford.
Wofford, the Terriers from the Southern Conference.
He even knows that they're the Terriers.
Wofford.
Watch out for Wofford.
I would.
Man,
do they have a magical nun helping them win?
No, but they
have a good.
My
record.
dog's a terrier. She loves Wofford.
So I genuinely do not know this. Who are their big wins this year? I know they have a good record. I know they're top 25.
Yeah,
Who are their big wins?
I think they beat maybe Texas. Hold on. They gave last year they beat North Carolina. This year they lost to North Carolina by maybe 10 points at a neutral site.
9. Yep.
So
keep going.
Okay.
And they went undefeated in the Southern. UNC Greensboro, they beat them. UNC Greensboro won 27, 28 games. So, and Furman beat Syracuse this year. They beat Furman twice. So I honestly think not Mark Furman.
Oh.
Furman, the University of Furman, the Paladins.
Oh, okay.
You should know these teams.
All right, so hold on. Currently, Wofford is 20th going in at the end of the season. They were ranked 20th. They played Kansas, right? And they got beat really bad.
Yeah, but that was
25.
a different Kansas team.
It's the same Wofford team.
I think Wofford's going to be. I honestly think
Wofford cannot hang with Duke.
Wofford will get to the Final Four.
Wofford will get to the Final Four.
That is my prediction.
Stocking, if you're right, I'm going to buy you a steak dinner at the restaurant you're choosing.
That is
all right.
Unbelievably awesome.
If he's wrong.
If he's right.
What are you throwing back?
Nothing.
Okay.
I don't bet.
He doesn't bet.
I'm smart. I don't bet.
What happens if Wofford's in the same bracket as Michigan?
I'm going to have to make a choice.
The Davenport Community School has got to have like a day off next week so we can talk bracket with you.
Dude, I'm calling in. I'm saying
you said that was a different Kansas team. You were absolutely correct. That was full strength. That was their big man was still in, and that was beginning of the season.
I honestly,
but there's a lot of teams that are at
that's fine.
level.
Right. Kansas was still they were a top 4 in the country at that point, and they got the doors blown off of them. So take whoever's now the top 2 teams. So throw in even though Gonzaga just got beat, throw in a Gonzaga, Virginia, Duke, throwing one of those big guys at full strength against that Wofford team. And you think Wofford's going to hang with them?
I think so, because I think Wofford's that good of a team. They can shoot the three. They've got a player, Parker McGee, I believe is his name. He really he can shoot the ball. They move the ball real well. I watched their game against UNC Greensboro. This is a Wofford team is a lot like that Loyola team from last year.
All right, stop.
And will if the NCAA selection committee is listening, and they should
be.
Yes, please put in UNC Greensboro, put in a Belmont, put in Furman. If Sam Houston State, who's only lost twice this year, loses to the Southland, put them in. I do not want to see Indiana or Ohio State or Texas, who if they lose tonight is 16-16, or one of these god-awful mid-major Power 5 teams that plays nobodies and gets rolls up a bunch of quad one wins.
I don't want to see Mark Furman.
I'm not disagreeing with you on the fact that they're a good team. I think they can win. They have a chance to beat some good teams, but I'm going to disagree 110% with you on Final Four, only because looking at their losses, lost to North Carolina by 11. They got the doors blown off them by Kansas. They lost to a mediocre Oklahoma team by 11. I'm trying to find their fourth loss, but that
Oklahoma game though was at Norman,
right? Who cares?
Well, you don't play. You don't play at home. You don't play home games. The NCAA tournament. This isn't the women's tournament. This is the men's tournament. You don't get to play at home.
I'm aware. I just don't see them.
Don't be angry in the stockpile, dude.
Oh no, I'm not.
No, we're getting fired up.
We're discussing.
This is an awesome conversation. Yeah, I think they could. I wouldn't be surprised if they knock off somebody notable, but going that far is just going to be a stretch, just because their wins. They don't really have that many notable wins, and then everything else is just.
Well, here's the other thing. We do not get to see Wofford or UNC Greensboro or Furman that much because they're good.
Say Wofford one more time.
Wofford. We don't get to see those teams because the big boys won't play them.
Hey, I like Waffles just as much as the next guy.
With the exception of North Carolina, who actually does go and play teams home and away. You're not going to see Duke. You're not going to see Kansas playing in South, Wofford.
I'll be shocked if this Kansas team makes the Sweet 16.
But what I'm saying is
now
those teams will not do that. Like Iowa and Iowa State.
Right.
Okay. Iowa State and Iowa both used to play UNI and Drake home and away. Then we got more big conference games, so we can't play you twice. So they played them at Wells Fargo Arena. Then Iowa and Iowa State. Well, we're losing these games at Wells Fargo Arena. You come to Carver Hawkeye or you come to Hilton Coliseum when we want, and UNI and Drake, to their credit, said, "See ya, we're not doing that." I do not like the fact that these big conference teams will not give the little guys a shot, or like I guarantee you, if Wofford calls up several teams, that call's not getting returned unless it's you come to our place twice or you come to our place 3 times.
They have to put together a couple consistent seasons until they're going to be it's credibility. So it's not like football where they're never going to get the call no matter what, no matter how good you are as a small school, as a smaller team. This NCAA basketball, if you put together a string of a few good seasons in a row to where you're credible, then they will do that. They will answer that call.
I don't think so because if you're Iowa State, it's easier for you to play the MEAC Cream Puff of the week or the SWAC Cream Puff or the Southland Cream Puff or the Summit Cream Puff than to bring in a Wofford that might go down like a chicken bone.
Did you go to Wofford?
No, I did. I went to Iowa State.
All right. Speaking of that, let's talk about Iowa State.
Hold on a second before we do that. Because these are names that we're going to be hearing a lot. All right. Real quick, let's play a quick round of terrier, not a terrier. I'm going to give you a player. You need to guess if Stocking needs to guess, or you guys can too.
Oh, he's going to crush
if he's a terrier, if he's not a terrier.
He won't know it.
All right.
I'll bet I do better than Stocking.
Terrier, not a terrier, because these are names you're going.
Me and Stocking, Brian versus T-Roy.
These are games that you're going. These are names that you're going to get to know if Wofford makes this run. So terrier, not a terrier. All right. First name, James Dickey.
No.
Yep.
No. Do you know who he plays for, Stocking?
I know James Dickey used to coach at Texas Tech.
Let's see. Demetrius Troy.
Yes.
I'll say yes.
Not a terrier.
Dang it.
Fletcher McGee.
Yes.
No.
Yes, a terrier.
Dang it.
Nathan Hoover.
I'm going to say yes.
No.
Is a terrier.
Dang it.
Storm Murphy.
I'm going to say yes.
No.
Is a terrier. Francisco Alonso.
No.
Yes.
Not a terrier.
Dang it.
That's another one.
I go.
Donovan Theme Love.
What?
Donovan Theme Love.
No.
No.
Is a terrier.
Dang it!
He had 0 points in the championship game, so it's not a name that's going to be out there. So that's not really fair. I just like the name. Let's see. Kyron Galloway.
Yes.
Sure.
Not a terrier.
Stocking.
Cameron Jackson.
Yes.
No.
He is a terrier. He did pretty good. Stocking did pretty good.
Yeah, he killed me.
6-0.
He did pretty good. Let's take a quick break and then we'll talk about Iowa State basketball in more. And we need to talk to Stocking about some of the trades going on in the MLB rules as well.
Yes.
Buying a home can be overwhelming. Don't get discouraged by the process. From start to finish, you'll need the guidance of a professional, so let Jen Peterson Murphy with RE/MAX Elite Homes use her extensive background in real estate to help you navigate the process. From lending qualifications and budgeting costs to recommended inspections, Jen Peterson Murphy can get you the most for your money in a competitive market. Jen Peterson Murphy specializes in residential real estate sales and assisting first-time home buyers. For expert advice, including strategic marketing practices, comprehensive market analysis, staging, and home assessments, think Jen Peterson Murphy or RE/MAX Elite Homes.
I want to remind you to follow Jen on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as keep in mind that some people are paying more in rent than they would for just their mortgage. So Jen can help you figure all this out and she works with plenty of lenders. She works with RE/MAX offices. They're all independently owned and operated. Jen's licensed in Illinois. Give her a call. Look her up on Facebook. Follow her on Twitter. It's Jen Murphy.
I'd give a rat's ass about Twitter.
Hey, this is Goose, PA announcer for the Quad City Storm, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 93.5.
Do it again, a little more heart.
Ideally, a service commemorates the life of a loved one in a way that captures the joy, the gifts that life brought us. Let Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory help you commemorate the life of a loved one with our tradition of caring and thoughtfulness and a full range of services. Allow us to serve your family in your time of sorrow. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and now the Knox Chapel.
Quad Cities, get ready for WWE Live. Sunday night, April 21st at Moline's Tech Slayer Center in a double main event. Braun Strowman exacts revenge on Baron Corbin. He's gonna kick these hands! Then in a triple threat match, Bobby Lashley, Finn Balor, and Drew McIntyre face off for the Intercontinental Championship, plus Sasha Banks and many more. Don't wait. Great seats are available now at the box office and Ticketmaster.
Make your next new or used purchase a slam dunk at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll have the full court press advantage each and every time. You'll be treated like a star from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh yeah, Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Brenny.
Coming this summer to city streets and country roads near you, the most spectacular event of the year.
Rennie Palooza 1.
Brought to you by Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic in Bettendorf. Rennie Palooza? You want volume? You got it. Rennie Palooza features the biggest, hottest names in motorcycles. Suzuki, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and more in Brenny's huge showroom. Cheaper than a trip to Woodstock 94. Rennie Palooza has your ticket to ride all summer long. No body surfing, no slam dancing, not even a carnival sideshow. It's just you and the open road, cruising under the summer sun with the wind in your hair. Make no mistake about it, though, Rennie-Palooza stars more than just street bikes. Dirt bikes and four-wheelers are on the bill, too. This summer, there is no alternative to Rennie-Palooza.
Except no substitute. Visit Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic, 4426 State Street, Bettendorf, across from the Alcoa Amphitheater. Almost. Presented by Mark Brenny Productions.
Our refund is on the way. Time to get rid of this ugly siding.
I already called Outland Construction.
You mean Outland Buildworks?
They did so many home renovations last year, they changed their name to Outland Construction.
Can they renovate the kitchen?
Outland Construction does that.
The bathroom?
Outland Construction does that too. Wait a minute, I thought we were talking about siding. How big is this tax refund? Where are you going?
I'm calling Dave at Outland Construction.
Find Outland Construction on Facebook and message Dave to schedule your spring renovation projects today.
Now, back to Don't Hassle Us. We're local on ESPN 93.5.
And we are back in the Hassle Palace, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us Local here on ESPN 93.5. We're still in studio with Stockpile Gold.
Absolutely. It's today's is the day of upsets. In 1981, it was the greatest set of live switches.
All right, talk to me, Goose. What happened?
Okay, early in the day, NBC has the Mideast regional between St. Joe's and DePaul. This was when DePaul was real good, so that's why it's 81. St. Joe's comes from behind, scores with 2 seconds left. John Smith layup. St. Joe's knocks out DePaul 49-48.
This is the Mark Aguirre.
Mark Aguirre, Ray Meyer teams. So they go on later in the afternoon. Later in the afternoon, there's more games that afternoon. NBC is showing defending champion Louisville playing Arkansas in Texas.
Okay.
At timeouts, they start switching you to the Oregon State K-State game out at Pauley Pavilion because Oregon State was also a number 1 seed. Ralph Miller, the Iowa coach that nearly got Iowa to the Final Four in 1970, is now the coach at Oregon State. They go back to, so they keep switching back and forth. U.S. Reed hits a half-court shot. Arkansas beats Louisville 74-73. As that game ends, boom, they say you back out to L.A. as Rolando Blackman hits a fall-away jumper as time expires for K-State to upset number 1 Oregon State 50-48. It was called the greatest set of live switches in sports history.
Well, there you go. And you can only hear it right here on ESPN 93.5 when we have Stockpile Gold in the house. I love it, buddy.
Yeah, it was excellent back then. You know, all the tournament games and all that.
I do like it.
Stocking, we were talking off the air, and now I'm looking up this guy that you're talking about for the Chicago Cubs.
Yes, the 37-year-old pitcher who the Cubs drafted.
Luke Haggerty is his name.
Never got up to the big leagues. Got released, bounced around with a few teams in their minors. Gave up the game. You know, he blew up his arm and that.
Blew up his arm. Spent 2 years off because of Tommy John surgery.
Yep, and then gave up the game, and now then he started.
Couldn't throw.
Yep. A bunch of kids saw him, said, give it one more shot, and now he's in spring training. It's talk that he might be on the opening day roster for the Cubs.
He's a modern day Kevin Costner.
Yeah, well, modern day, the Cubs might need a modern day Kevin Costner. The pitching staff is.
I think it's the rookie that you're referring to.
Yeah,
that was. Look at this. This is actually. I'm going to share the story.
Jim Morris.
Going to be a reliever.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he started off when he first made it to college. He got a scholarship to play at Ball State. Only walked in with an 84-mile-an-hour fastball. 82-mile-an-hour fastball. Spent the next 3 years building up his arm because they were told if you can get up to 94, you'd be a first rounder. The Cubs took him with the 32nd pick in the first round 2002 draft. Gave him more than $1 million to sign. Bounced around and like Stocking says, blew up his arm and couldn't throw. Just forgot how to pitch. He had the knob block and Rick Ankiel thing. Yeah, they didn't add him on. So his arm hurt after 2004. He didn't get added to the 40-man roster. Marlins acquired him during the Rule 5 draft. This is incredible. The don't even know why this is a story that hasn't even been shared that much until, I mean, this was on ESPN in February, the beginning of February, the story.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people probably go, "Oh, well, it's it's not going to happen."
Yeah, but now they're getting down to the cuts. Cuts.
And he might make the 25 the opening day roster. The Cubs are going to need pitching because Morrow's still out. Strop has got a hamstring injury. He's probably out for the opener.
Who didn't see that Morrow thing come? Why didn't anyone see that Morrow thing coming?
2 weeks.
He was just used way too much in the postseason, and then they went out and signed him. Dumb.
But the season starts March 28th.
Right. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, you're getting down to, in fact, the Mariners and Athletics are playing 2 games, I believe, in Tokyo, March 20th and 21st, and that's going to start the regular season. So
why are you guys worried about Pedro Strop being out for 2 weeks?
Well, if you're the Cubs, but the Cubs have got a lot of pitching issues.
Man. Oh, we're screwed.
No, Strop missed the last.
Typical Cub fan.
Strop missed the last. Strop missed the last month of the season with an injury.
Right.
It was a leg injury. I believe it was a hamstring injury again. Also, now the hamstring flares up again. And the Cubs do not have a lot of pitching depth.
Since we're talking baseball, let's talk about your predictions. What do you got for us?
I've got
knowledge on
your divisional winners are going to be in the NL: Atlanta, Milwaukee, and the Dodgers, and the Cardinals and the Phillies are going to be your wild cards. In the American League, it's going to be the Yankees, the Indians, and the Astros. Wild card will be the Mariners and the Red Sox.
Hey, slow it down over there.
Okay.
You yelling at the stop.
Yankees, Cleveland. Who's in the West? Astros.
Astros.
All right. Who's the wild card?
Mariners and Red Sox.
Oh dear Lord.
I do not have I have the Twins go at 80 and 82.
Well, all right. Now go back. So you have the Braves. It's not happening.
Brewers.
Okay.
Dodgers, and the wild card will be the Cardinals and the Phillies.
Okay.
Crazy.
No, it's truth.
You're nuts.
Cardinals.
You don't have the Cubs in there.
No, I do not. Cubs
All right.
have way too starting rotation. They got 2 guys 35. Darvish is 32.
You don't think the Braves just caught fire a little too early? Last year.
I think the Braves were building for actually this year, so they're a little ahead of schedule. I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be pretty good this year.
And you think the Phillies will just get the wild card out of that?
Yes, because the Phillies, besides adding,
what makes the Yankees better than the Red Sox?
I think the Red Sox are going to struggle because of the fact that they won so many games last year. Mm-hmm. I just don't see them winning all the games that they did last year. They sort of ran away from the pack. I don't think they're going to run away from the pack. And I think some of the moves that they've been making, they're going to have to go to their farm system. I don't see their farm system that strong. I think the Yankees pull away and win. I think the Yankees win 100 games this year. I really like what the offseason moves they made.
What do you have Cleveland at?
I have Cleveland 90 and 72.
So who comes in second in that division?
Kansas City.
What?
Stop.
I'm going with the Royals on that one. I've got the Royals, the Royals, the Twins, and the Tigers are all within a game of each other.
Okay.
What about the White
Sox?
Sox?
I have them 75 and 87.
So you have them dead last.
Yes.
You know what? I'll bet you right now.
I don't bet. Here's the thing.
I think another stake.
Do not be surprised. Do not be
3-1 odds.
Do not be surprised if next year Joe Maddon is the manager for the White Sox next year.
If that happens,
Serge would love that.
If that happens, if I was Rick
Serge
Renteria,
is so happy right now.
If I was Rick Renteria, I would egg Joe Maddon's RV. I would put sugar in his gasoline tank if that happens. If I was Rick Renteria.
But Maddon does not have a contract after this year with the Cubs.
I understand that Rick Renteria will murder Joe Maddon if that happens to him.
He won't be happy.
Can you imagine if that was the case?
I'm good.
No, I'm just saying. Rick Renteria was the manager of the Cubs, right? And then they got rid of him.
I just want to see Serge's head explode when he becomes the manager of the White Sox.
But no, I mean, honestly, though, if you look at it...
Well, he won't have to change his ads. He'll still be able to do Benny's Beverage Depot.
Right, and the White Sox are a young team like the Cubs were. I think the Cubs are beginning to tire of Joe's of the Joe Circus, dress up and we're gonna bring in this guy, we're gonna bring in, magicians and goats and all that. I think they're tired. I think a lot of these kids are veterans now. You can't fool a veteran like you can young players. So I think Madden's got to go to a team where he's got young players. And when you look at Madden's track record in Tampa Bay, the year that they went to the World Series, and then after that...
Stock, we got a call coming in. I think someone wants to argue with you.
Go ahead. Answer. No.
All right, you're live on ESPN 93.5. Who do we got?
Hello? What's it say up there at the top? Say on air or hold? Yeah. I guess. Found one. All right. Yeah, drop it.
Bye.
Yeah, call back, whoever you were, if you want to. Yeah, go ahead and call back. Unless it was Morgan Management. I don't know. Maybe they... Yeah, maybe it was Jose Canseco's manager. So...
It was like...
Jose's probably going to want about 25,000 and a few of those steak dinners you're offering up.
In the World Series, what do you have?
I have Astros beating the Yankees and the Brewers beating the Phillies, and I've got the Astros beating the Brewers in 7.
Okay. I can't. I mean,
I really like Craig Counsell, the Brewers manager. I think he's a good
you like
manager.
His batting stance?
I can't get over his batting stance.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't. No. And he's as soon as that three batter minimum comes up, he might be in trouble there.
That is going to just infuriate baseball fans like there is no tomorrow. Because let's just say the Cubs and the Cardinals meet.
Dave Roberts won't know how to manage a ball game anymore.
Here's the thing: let's say the Cubs are playing the Cardinals, and it's 4-1 Cubs, bottom of the ninth, but the Cardinals have the bases loaded. So Madden goes out to the mound, and he brings in Pedro Strop. Mike Matheny is probably going to stack his pitch hitters. Let's say it's 4-1 bases loaded.
Matheny's not the manager anymore.
I mean, not Matheny.
Yeah. Strop's still out with a hamstring injury.
Mark Schilt. I think it's...
Yeah, you're right.
He's going to stack the lineup with pitch hitters that could go after Strop. Strop comes in. He can't find the strike zone. Walks in a run. Walks in another run. Now it's 4-3. This is the last guy he's got to face. Gives up a grand slam. You know what's going to be happening in Chicago? There's going to be things going through. Windows, and people are going to be screaming for Pedro Strop like they were for Cody Parkey.
Well, no, they're going to be screaming at the commissioner of baseball for signing a stupid rule.
Goose Island's got to throw a strike challenge out in the street for unlimited beer for the next year.
I do not like
to defend Pedro Strop's honor.
I do not like the 3 batter minimum, because you're not saying to the manager, you can't change your batters. It's going to be, so you're not going to see a left-handed or a right-handed specialist reliever, because you don't want to put your lineup, you don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage like that. So I really do not like the rule, because number one, you're allowing the other team's manager to set up pitch hitters.
It's true.
You can't counter that move.
Yep, that's true.
And the other thing is,
it's more offense. That's what they want. That's what the people want. The game's too slow.
No,
that's what they're doing. They're to set up for more offense. You're absolutely right.
I don't
to benefit the hitter.
Well, then start putting rabbits back in the baseball.
You're on the air, ESPN 93.5. Who we got?
Hey, Jay, what's going on? It's Rosso.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, buddy. How's the appendix, man?
Yeah.
Just hanging out, watching Ohio State put the kibosh on Indiana's season. Not too bad, doing better. Every day is a little bit better.
Are you at home or are you in the hospital?
No, I'm at home. I've been home since Sunday night, so.
All right.
Pretty quick discharge, and it was kind of a wild Saturday and Sunday, I'll say that, so.
Yeah, that sucks, buddy. Glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it didn't rupture or anything, so sounded like the procedure was pretty cut and dry. I guess if it for people that know that had their appendix burst, I guess that complicates things a lot more, just with possible infections and the way they have to.
It hurts enough just getting the dang thing out. When I did mine, that was only not that long ago, but man,
yeah,
so not fun. Yeah, you've been listening. I mean, we got Stockpile in here just saying all kinds of silly stuff. I don't know.
It's
what's going
truth.
on.
Let's talk basketball here. All right, so Stocking, real quick before we start talking to Ross about this. What was the question there from Erickson on the Vance Pizza Pub and Grill Facebook?
Who makes it farther in the tournament? Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, or Gonzaga?
Gonzaga.
Further in the tournament than those guys?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I told you from the beginning, Duke was my pick to win this all. I'm not going on a limb by any means, but I just think with Zion, they're the best team. It's in Minneapolis. Coach K's won the last, the only 2 Final Fours in Minneapolis. It's his place. You get the dunk.
Go.
And Zion is coming back for the tournament.
He is. He's coming back for the ACC tournament.
How far can Zion go? That's the question. Because he hasn't played for 2 weeks? 2-3 weeks?
I don't think that's going to matter.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Yep.
It's not going to matter. Maybe the ACC tournament against, let's see, they're playing
Syracuse tonight.
Syracuse, and it may not matter against
Syracuse is shorthanded tonight.
It may not matter in the ACC. I think they're going to lose to North Carolina for a third time.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, I mean, that could definitely happen. I just think in the tournament, I mean, he really doesn't need to be full go 100% till the second round. He doesn't have to play more than 16, 18 minutes in the first round game if he doesn't want to, you know what I mean? If they don't need him, obviously. So kind of ease him back in that way. I agree. I don't think they win the ACC tournament because I don't think he is going to be at 100%.
And I don't think Coach K is going to care if they win the ACC tournament.
Probably not. Yeah.
No, I think the only way Duke gets up to a number 1 is if they win the ACC.
Right. Yeah, they're not going to be a number 1 seed.
Because I think your 4 number 1 seeds are Gonzaga, Kentucky, or Tennessee, whichever one gets further in the SEC tournament, and then Virginia and North Carolina. The only way is if Duke wins, then I think they replace North Carolina.
Hey, Rosso, so let's just say Iowa gets a 7 seed or a 10 seed. They get the 7-10 seed. They win that game. They face a Duke. That you'd be covering that, though, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun.
I said that a couple weeks ago even when they're projecting to play Duke in an 8-9 game.
Mm-hmm.
I think storyline-wise, I mean, from my point of view, like that's a win-win because Iowa pulls an upset like that on a Zion Williamson-led Duke team. That's historic.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, you get to watch the number 1 overall pick play and a potential, I'm not going to call him a legend yet, but a potential legend,
Mm-hmm.
in the making. So I think either way, for storyline purposes, that's, almost the best you can hope for in that situation.
You're scaring Iowa fans because they have the flashback to the early 90s when twice they won first-round games and had to play Duke in the second round and lost.
That's ACL's final game, I believe. Am I right on that?
Yeah, I think you are. I mean, they played them, I think, in 91 and 92 in the second round, and lost both times. And it's like, going, wait a second, what did Dr. Tom and Iowa do to deserve playing them twice?
Well, and the weird thing is, they played Villanova 3 years ago when they won it, and then they just played Gonzaga the year before that. When I don't think Gonzaga would they lose Elite Eight to Duke actually. So. They've had some history with these teams, which is kind of cool. Obviously, I think Kentucky would be another interesting one because I don't know if they've played Kentucky in the postseason. If they have, it hasn't been recently.
I don't think they ever have, no.
So that's always cool because of their fan base and obviously their following, their history. So, I wrote about it a few weeks ago, though. They don't have a shot of going anywhere if they don't get to a 7 seed, which I don't think they get to a 7 seed unless they probably make the Big Ten final. I just think it's hard for them to legitimately, now maybe semis, but I just don't see them getting out of that 8-9 hole. I really think that's pretty much where they're locked into unless they go on a big run here.
I see a big run coming.
Uh-oh.
Yep. If Stocking can go out and say Wofford is going to be in the Final Four, then I can just say that.
Who?
I can say that.
Wofford?
Waffles. If Stocking can come on here and say that, then I can say
Wofford.
Then I can say Iowa's going to make it to the finals of the Big Ten tournament. A walk. It's a walk.
I think the bracket shapes up for them. I mean, they got confidence against Michigan. They've beaten them. They played them tough last year when they went to the championship game of the whole thing. I don't think Michigan necessarily matches up that difficult. As far as they're not a team that pushes the pace. They're not a team that really has a bunch of shooters. They're kind of a grinded out, at least this year, they're kind of a grinded out defensive, based team, which I think you look at a team like, Michigan State, let's say, on the other side of the bracket, that's just not, I just don't think that's a good match. They're physical. They can easily match up with Iowa's perimeter. Iowa's perimeter is a big mismatch against Michigan State's. Whereas other than the pool kid, I don't think Michigan has a bunch of just straight up shooters. They have a lot of guys that I think Iowa can keep in front of them and kind of dare them to shoot from long range.
And what about tonight though? What do you predict?
I think it's all about. I tweeted last night. It's a mismatch as far as offensive rebounding and the way Iowa gets to the free throw line. And I think as long as they stay aggressive, get the Illinois front line, especially Georgie B. I can't say his last name. I hate saying his last name, but I think if they get him in foul trouble, that's a different team because I don't think Illinois' perimeter. They got some players. Obviously, Frazier's been able to score on Iowa before, and Dosumu's a very good talent. But I just think if Iowa goes inside out, Garza and Cook, they try to get Georgie B in foul trouble. I just think Illinois' defense isn't good enough to keep up with Iowa's offense. So I would say I think Iowa wins. I don't know if it's a 24-point win or whatever it was early in the season, but I think they win close to double digits. I'd say let's say 7, 8, 9, 10-point win.
Yeah, so spread is now currently 4, and I think you Stockton's got it around there. You've got it around there. The 8, 9, 10 range, and so does Kakert. So, and like you pointed out, free throws and everything. Now, the worry is that will they have tired legs to play Michigan tomorrow?
Yeah, but this time of year, whatever. It's sometimes if you win these games, you get kind of a little bit of momentum. We've seen it. We saw it with Michigan last year. I think Michigan was. I think they were the 6th seed, either the 5 or the 6th seed in the Big Ten tournament. And they didn't lose a game until the national final. So
sounds about like Iowa.
You maybe got to get your rhythm back. And I think sometimes playing these games, get used to the venue. You get used to just the tournament time, the pressures, and I think if anything, the tiredness for some of these teams that play early comes in the day later, like the semifinals. I think that's why it's so hard to go from the quarterfinals or even the play-in game to the finals, because once you get that third game, that's 3 games in 3 days. That gets to be where the soreness comes in, the tiredness. It's just your legs aren't there as much anymore. So
and
I don't
overtime in the first game.
Yeah, and I don't think Illinois' pace should affect Iowa. Like, they obviously play a high tempo, but I think the only way Illinois really can pull the upset is if they push the pace and Iowa misses a lot of shots. And we've seen Iowa's offense struggle lately. But if Iowa's connecting on shots, like if Wieskamp and Bohannon and Moss are even semi-on, it's really hard for Illinois, I feel like, to push the pace the way they want to because you're making shots. Obviously, it's easy to score in transition off a missed basket. And that's where Iowa struggled. That's why they've gotten blown out, because they miss shots, and then it creates 3-on-2 opportunities or just situations where the rotations have to come quicker in transition, and sometimes they don't get there. So I think that's Illinois' recipe to victory is force Iowa into poor shooting percentage and push the tempo, and obviously then keep Georgie B out of foul trouble, because he really, I think, is the only guy that can match up with Cook or Garza inside. The rest of the frontline guys really aren't very impressive.
And last night, Georgie B fouled out at the end of regulation, and Northwestern could not take advantage of that. And they went 8 of 36 from beyond the 3. They fell in love with the 3, and it broke their hearts when she left.
Well, I was texting with both Jay and Dan yesterday. If Illinois loses that game against Northwestern without Vic Law, Vic Law is their best player, Northwestern's. And the fact that they went to overtime, like, I know the Taylor kid had a good game, and I know obviously Pardon's a load inside, but man, the rest of that team is borderline not even Big Ten players. So I don't know. Take what you want that they got pushed to overtime, but obviously Dosumu had a terrible game, and even Frazier wasn't really on. But the Felice kid's kind of intriguing. I think Fran mentioned him the other day at the press conference that he's really come on late season, so he gives them another added element on the perimeter. But like I said, if Iowa pounds the ball inside, gets Illinois in foul trouble, and at least has some form of outside shooting, I think this is let's say like a 9-point victory. Because I don't think Iowa scores under 80. I just think Illinois' defense isn't that good. I think Iowa gets to 80 or above, they're going to win the game.
So how are you doing, though? When are you going to be back up on your feet and moving around?
I've been taking some walks. I'm gonna walk to the grocery here after I'm done with you guys, just to keep moving and stuff. Like I said, every day's gotten better, so tentatively, we'll see where I'm at on Sunday to go over and get their reaction after they're selected into the tournament. Same with the women on Monday. That's kind of my goal, is to try to be able to cover both of those, and then we'll see how I feel.
You're gonna definitely need somebody to help carry your camera,
obviously,
man.
I want to go, and I will plan to. It's just the main thing is I'm not supposed to lift a bunch of stuff, and that's kind of where it's with all the gear I carry. But there's ways around that. There's obviously at the airport you can get carts, and if it's a driving distance situation, that helps because
there's T-Roy.
T-Roy will go with you.
There you go. T-Roy could be my helper.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. I texted you last night. I don't want Vasco to Wally Pip you.
I know, right?
That's what my concern was. You better get healthy soon.
I know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Keep in touch or whatever else. And thanks for calling in. We want you to get better. And if you,
you bet. I'll we'll hopefully be full go next week. I just gotta obviously recover a little more. And once the other thing is, as you guys, T-Roy probably knows, you get prescription, pain meds. You can't drive on them or anything. So I think I probably can start driving on Sunday once I'm done with the medicine. So, but
we'll come pick you up.
Yeah.
That's true. If I had a chauffeur, Matt, chauffeur and a guy carrying my stuff.
Well, isn't that T-Roy's job to carry the stuff? And
if you want to go around and get reactions or whatever else,
T-Roy will carry your camera. I'll come pick you up.
Yeah, we'll help you out. If you want to do that, we'll help you out. It's not a big deal.
There you go.
So
hey,
let us know.
Take you up on that.
Yeah, let us know. But you take care. Thanks for calling in, man.
Yep, you bet, guys. Take care.
Yep, gotcha. All right, Adam Rosso from WHPF and Hawkeye headquarters. Recovering from appendectomy. So he's still getting after it. Still covering what he's got to cover from couch and a little bit of walks that he does. Right. All right. So, what do you have a prediction for? You can't predict the Final Four or anything like that. You just have Michigan winning it all.
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga. Oh, you have Gonzaga winning.
Gonzaga over Michigan.
Okay, Gonzaga over Michigan is what you're thinking right now.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. So, how do you come up with your baseball theories and your Wofford theories?
His logarithms?
Yeah, your logarithms.
It's things that I just pay attention and look into the crystal ball and I don't have one of those magic 8 balls, but
yeah. I heard how you got into Iowa State. That scandal just came out.
How's Iowa State?
My parents didn't have that type of money. If they did, they would have sent me to Northwestern.
T-Roy, do the line.
Mother sure does care about Mother sure does care about your education. All right, how's Iowa State going to do?
I think they're the only consistent thing about them is their inconsistency. They really did well against Kansas, then they get swept by TCU. They got clobbered at West Virginia. They got a defend to 3. I think they beat Baylor today. So they could be K-State, get to the Big 12 final. I think they're going to be in that 7, 8, 10, 8, 9 range. Here's the question: if Iowa State's a 7 and Iowa's a 10, would they put them together?
I'd love that. Because didn't you just tweet out or Facebook the other day that yesterday on Vance Beats Facebook online, Iowa State would beat Iowa right now? Didn't you say that?
I think Iowa State would crush Iowa right now.
I wasn't on yesterday.
Maybe someone else.
Someone else did because I.
Okay, so what do you think?
Someone else is crazy like you.
It would probably be. I think Iowa State would edge them, but be maybe 2 points because earlier this year it was a 20-point beatdown in Carver.
Right.
And that was an ugly game.
And then Iowa State, all of a sudden, they decide they can shoot the ball.
Yeah, and then they started, and then later in the season they got into a fight with each other in a locker room. So that's never a good look.
Right.
The question is, I like Prom, but I could see Iowa State fans putting a lot of pressure on them to bring back the mayor. Because I've had people tell me
he's not coming back.
That if Iowa State had the mayor, they'd be much better.
He's not coming back.
I don't think he will.
He doesn't want to recruit.
But you could. Iowa State fans want the mayor back.
All right, Stocking, the Hassel Streak bet. We're just going to give you. It's Iowa -4. Do you want to take the points or give the points?
I would take the points.
You're taking the points.
Well,
you're giving. Is Iowa going to win by more than 4?
Yes.
Then you want to give the points.
Yeah, I'm giving the points. Yeah, I'll give the points.
So we got you to gamble today. See, we told you to get you to gamble by the end of the show. That was a terrible advice. That was on here. Yeah. All right. Well, we got.
It's only $20 if you lose.
We got 30 seconds left here. Stocking, thank you so much for coming in. I know it's your spring break, so just taking the time out of your schedule when you're getting things done, we totally appreciate it. Thanks to Adam Rosso for calling in. Thanks to Darth Baber from Quad City Rollers for stopping in as well. Make sure to check them out on Facebook. Go ahead and give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's QC Hassle across the board. We will see you tomorrow. Turk Wendell is going to be in studio, and hopefully we get Jose Canseco. You guys have a hassle-free Thursday. See you soon.